Question 19, we're told to multiply 2,345 by 1,000. Now this is a whole number and we're multiplying by 1,000. So we have a whole number. And remember we said we need to learn the word integer. It's very important. An integer is a whole number. We said it can be positive. The whole number can be negative. Or it can simply be 0. And the simple rule for this is you write this number down, 2, 3, 4, 5, and however many zeros we have, in this case we have 1, 2, 3, we simply add on 1, 2, 3 zeros. As before, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. So this, you should think of thousands. The next 3, millions. So this number is 2,345,000, and there's nothing there. So it's simply 2,345,000. Question 20 tells us to divide 714 by 17. So let's write that down here again. 714. So we start with how many 17s are there in 7? There's 0. So this 7 we carry over. So that 1 becomes 71. Now we ask ourselves how many 17s are there in 71? So what we can do is we can add 17 each time. So let's start with the easy one. Let's add 2 17s. 7 plus 7 is 14. 4 goes there. You carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus the 1 we've carried over is 3. So it's 34. And we have 71. So let's add another 17. 34 add 17. 4 add 7 is 11. 1 goes there. You carry the 1 to the next column. 3 add 1 is 4. Plus the 1 is 5. We've got 51. We can add another 17. So let's go here. 51 add 17. 1 add 7 is 8. 5 add 1 is 6. That's 68. And we've got 71. So we can stop there because we can't add another 17. So let's have a look. How many 17s have we added? 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer is 4. And we've used up 68. And we've got 71. So from 68 we count up to 71. And that is 3. So our remainder is 3. So the remainder goes over and turns the 4 into a 34. So you have to look at this as 34 now. So how many 17s are there in 34? And if we go down here, we added 17 and 17 and we got 34. So that is 2 lots of 17. So 2 goes there. There's no remainder. So our answer again is 0, 4, 2. Now the leading zeros we can ignore. That's not important. So we have now 42. So our answer for this is 42. So let's try this the long division way. So 17, 7, The first question is, how many 17s are there in 7? 0. Now be careful with this. We do 17 times 0 is 0. And now all we do is simply subtract this. So 7 take away 0 is 7. And we bring the next digit down as a helper, as a companion. Now, how many 17s are there in 71? We did that calculation here. We did 17, add 17 is 34. And then we add 34 to another 17. So these are all additions. And that was 51. And then we added another 17. And we ended up with 68. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many 17s are there in 71? 4. Now you have to be careful with this. 17 times 4 is 68. We can see that from here. So we put down 68 here and we subtract these two now. 1 take away 8 we can't do. So we go to the neighbour and borrow 1. So the 7 becomes a 6. The 1 that we've borrowed turns this 1 into an 11. So now our calculation is 11 take away 8, which is 3. 6 take away 6 is nothing, so our remainder is 3 here. Now, as before, let's just extend this line. We bring the next digit down as a companion, as a helper. So now this becomes 34. Now the next question is, how many 17s do we have in 34? And we know if we add 2 lots of 17, we get 34. So how many 17s in 34? 2. So put the 2 there. Now we do 17 times 2 is 34. So we put 34 here. And we simply subtract these two. And 34 take away 34 is 0. And we can stop there. So our answer again is 042. We can ignore this. And our answer is 42 as before. Question 21 is 9 take away 3.45. Now if you notice, this is a whole number and this is a decimal. And it has 2 decimal places, so we have to be careful. So let's do column subtraction. 9 take away 3.45. What we can do is put some helpers here. These 2 placeholders. Now we can do subtraction. 0 take away 5. We can't do that. So we go to the neighbour. The neighbour's got nothing. So this 0 has to go to the 9. You cross out the 9, it becomes an 8. And this 0 becomes 10. Now this 10 can lend this 0 1. So this 0 goes over, knocks on the door, turns the 10 into a 9. And this 0 becomes 10. Now we have 10 take away 5, which is 5. 9 take away 4, which is 5. Now be careful with these decimal points. Line them up. 8 take away 3, which is 5. So our answer is 5.55. Now what some people will do with this question is they will start at 3.45 and add on to get to 9. So for example, if this is 0 and this here is 3.45 and this here is 9.00. To go from 3.45 to 4.00, you can look at this as £3.45 and this as £4. So you need to add 0.55, 55 pence. That's how you can look at this. Now, how do I get from 4 all the way to 9? I simply add on 5. Now I can write 5 as 5.00. Now I do column addition with these two. 5.00 plus 0.55, and I simply add these, and if you look carefully I will get exactly the same answer as before. This is another way of doing it, and treat this as money. So £3.45 to £9, or £9 take away £3.45. It's your choice, whichever way you want to do it. Question 22, we're given 4,781 times 23. And we can do simple column multiplication. So let's start. Let's do 3 times 1 first, which is 3. And then 3 times 8, which is 24. So we put the 4 down and we carry the 2 over to the next column. Now we do 3 times 7. So we're doing 3 times 7, which is 21. And now we add the 2 we've carried over. So that makes it 23. Put the 3 down and carry the 2 over to the next column. Then we do 3 times 4. So it's 3 times 4, which is 12, plus the 2 we've carried over is 14. So we put the 4 down and we carry the 1 over to the next column because we're finished now here with this 3. Now we move on to the next column. Now because we're in the tens column, we put in a helper or a placeholder. It makes it much easier for the calculation. And what I'll do is I'll remove these numbers. We don't need these. We were using those as carryovers. So let's do this. 2 times 1, which is 2. 2 times 8, which is 16. So we put the 6 down and we carry the 1 over to the next column. Now it's 2 times 7. So that is our calculation. 2 times 7, which is 14. Plus the 1 we've carried over, which makes it 15. So we put 5 here and carry 1 over to the next column. And finally, we do 2 times 4, which is 8, plus the 1 we've carried over, which is 9. Now we simply add these two numbers. 3 add 0 is 3. 4 add 2 is 6. 3 add 6 is 9. 4 add 5 is 9. And 1 add 9 is 10. So we put the 0 in this column and carry the 1 over because there's nothing else to do. Now this is our number. As before, 1, 2, 3, comma. So now this here is our thousands. So it's 109,999 and 63. Now I want to do this question using the grid method. So let's draw a grid. We have 4,781, and we have 23, so we're going to partition that as well into 20 and 3. So we've got 20 times 4,000. And a quick way of doing this is to hide the zeros and simply do 2 times 4. And 2 times 4 is 8. Now carefully I return 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I do 20 times 700. As before, I hide these 3 zeros and I have 2 times 7, and 2 times 7 is 14, and then I return these 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Again, I've got 20 times 80, hide the 2 zeros, and it's 2 times 8, which is 16, and I bring these 2 zeros back. 1, 2. And finally I have 20 times 1, which is 20. Right, moving on to this, we have 3 times 4,000. As before, we can hide the 1, 2, 3 zeros and simply do 3 times 4. That is 12. And now we bring these 3 zeros back. 1, 2, 3. Now we do 3 times 700. Hide the 2 zeros. 3 times 7 is 21. Bring the 2 zeros back. 1, 2. Now we do 3 times 80. Again, hide the 0. So 3 times 8 is 24. Bring this 0 down. And finally we do 3 times 1, which is 3. Now we have to add all these numbers carefully. Make sure we line everything up carefully. So let's start with this number. 8 and 4 zeros, so that's 80,000. 80,000. Then we do 14,000. Then we do 1,600. Then we do 20. Then we do 12,000. So you have to be careful, it gets a bit tricky here. And it's 2,100. So 2,100. 240. And finally 3. And we're going to add all these. So if we go down this first column, it's 3. We go down the second column, 2 add 4, which is 6. Let's go down the third column, 6 add 1 is 7, add 2 is 9. Now let's go down the fourth column. 4 add 1 is 5, add 2 is 7, add 2 is 9. 8 add 1 is 9, add 1 is 10. Put the 0 in this column and carry the 1 over to the next column because we've finished. So again, this is our number 1, 2, 3, comma, and it's 109,963, the same as before.